All right, today we're going to dig into something really powerful. It's an idea from Richard Stevenson, a kind of manifesto for a quiet, human-scale solution to one of South Africa's most urgent national crises. It's called the Autodidact Revolution, a way to empower ourselves through self-education. And you know what? It all kicks off with one single, sobering number. Yeah, 81%. I mean, just let that number hang in the air for a second. This single statistic is the key, the absolute key, to understanding the quiet emergency we're about to talk about. But 81% of what?
That's it. According to the PIRL's 2021 study, a staggering 81% of 10-year-olds in South Africa cannot read for meaning. And look, this isn't just about being able to sound out the words on a page. Reading for meaning is about comprehension. It's about getting it, being able to understand, interpret, and actually think about what you've just read. It's the bedrock, the absolute foundation for everything that comes after.
This visual here just lays it out so clearly. When kids can't read for meaning, you get this massive bottleneck. Every other subject, math, science, history, you name it, becomes what the source calls a fog of coping strategies. I mean, what a phrase. Learning just collapses downstream because the very foundation is shaky. And this isn't about blaming teachers or students, it's just describing a system that's breaking down. And here's the crucial point, right? The challenge has changed. It's not just about getting kids into school buildings anymore. It's about whether they're actually learning once they're sitting at those desks. And why does that distinction matter so much? Well, because it flips the script. It shifts the power away from just waiting for some big system to change and puts it right back into the hands of people, of families, of communities. So, if the problem is that huge, what's the answer? You'd expect some giant, top-down, bureaucratic plan, right? Nope. The manifesto proposes something, well, something radical in how simple it is. A quiet, a small, and a slower evolution. The autodidact revolution. At the very heart of this is an idea called subsidiarity for the mind. It's a big phrase for a really simple concept. It just means that decisions about learning should be made by the people closest to the action. You, the learner, your family, your community. Think of it like a garden. Who knows best what the plants need? The gardener who's there every day, or some committee 100 miles away? It's all about taking back control and personal responsibility, with schools and libraries acting as supporters, not gatekeepers. Now, it's really important to get this straight. This is not an anti-school movement. Not at all. It's pro-learner. It's about building an extra ladder, another way to succeed that anyone can choose to climb. The idea is to add to and strengthen what's there, not tear it down. It's just recognizing that, hey, learning happens everywhere. At home, with friends, online. And what I find so fascinating is how this revolution is defined. First, it's quiet. It starts with your own personal discipline, not with loud rallies or slogans. Second, it's small. It grows through human connection, like two people just keeping a promise to each other. And third, it's slow. It builds real skill through the power of compounding habits. Kind of like investing, but for your brain. It's a total transformation on a human scale. Okay, so if this is a revolution of personal agency, you're going to need some tools, right? Well, here's the incredible part. We are living in an age where the tools for this kind of self-education are everywhere. They're more accessible than they have ever been in human history. There's a new digital ladder, and it's been built right underneath our feet. I mean, just look at this comparison. What does this new ladder really mean? It means the tools for a world-class education are no longer locked up in fancy buildings. The old barriers, getting to a library, affording textbooks, paying for a tutor, they're all coming down. And in their place, you've got free access to pretty much every classic book ever written, tons of open-source learning materials, and now a personal coach that lives in your pocket. This image just nails it. The new ladder is made of bandwidth, and its rungs are the digital public domain, open educational resources, and, this is the real game changer, AI-powered personal coaching. These three things together make a nationwide movement of self-learners, not just a dream, but a totally concrete possibility. Okay, so we've got the big idea, and we've got the tools. But let's get practical. How do you actually do this? How do you fit it into a life that's already busy, already tiring? The answer is beautifully simple. You make it a habit. Let's talk about the 1-hour rule. This is the 1-1-1-1 hour. It's just 1 hour a day, and you break it into 4 totally manageable 15-minute chunks. First, read something that stretches your brain a little. Second, write a super quick summary to make sure you got it.
Third, talk to a tutor, a person or an AI to test yourself. And finally, think about how to apply it. This works because it takes a big, scary goal like get smarter and turns it into a simple appointment you have with yourself every day. It makes progress feel automatic. And this right here, this might be the most important line in the whole manifesto. The magic isn't in finding the one perfect book to read. The real revolution is the habit itself. It's the slow, steady, compounding power of just showing up day after day that builds real skill and real confidence. Now, to keep you from getting totally overwhelmed, that feeling of I have to learn everything at once, the manifesto suggests a minimal curriculum. Just 5 core things to focus on. These are the essentials. And that focus is so important because it keeps you from quitting before you even start. It's not about learning everything. It's about building the foundation so you can learn anything. It's so easy to picture the self-learner as this kind of lone hero buried under a stack of books. But the manifesto says that's basically a romantic myth. For this revolution to actually work, for it to spread, it has to be social. It has to be built on connection and holding each other accountable. But how do you do that? Well, it scales in 2 key ways. First, there's what's called the two-person republic, which is just a simple but incredibly powerful partnership. It's just 2 people who agree to learn together, test each other, and keep that promise. The second way is the modern game changer, using AI, not to think for you, but as your own tireless personal tutor that's ready to quiz and coach you 24/7. And that brings us to a really, really critical question. We have this amazingly powerful tool, but how do we use it to make our own thinking sharper instead of just replacing it? How do we make sure AI is a gym for the mind and not just a super comfortable couch? The secret is all in the prompts. It's in how you ask. Take a look at these examples. You're not asking for the answer. You're asking to be quizzed. You're asking it to act like a Socratic tutor and guide you with questions. You're asking it to improve your writing and then tell you why it made those changes. See the pattern? You are always in the driver's seat. So, the rules of engagement are pretty clear. Do use AI for practice and for guidance. Do check its facts because it can be wrong. And do focus on building your own skill. And on the flip side, don't let it do your work for you. Don't trust it blindly, and never ever let convenience replace your own competence. Integrity is everything here. Okay, so let's zoom all the way out. We've gone through the problem, the philosophy, the tools, the habits. But let's tackle the biggest question of all. Why does any of this really matter? Because this whole thing, these tiny daily personal habits, can actually fuel a massive national renewal. I mean, think about it. When a whole society starts committing to learning, amazing things start to happen. Employability goes way up because people have real, tangible skills. Family life gets better because kids grow up seeing their parents learn. Governance gets stronger because now you have citizens who can actually read a budget or analyze an argument. And maybe most important of all, it makes us all much, much harder to fool with misinformation and scapegoating. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The ultimate point of this whole autodidact revolution is democratic. A population that can read with understanding, think with clarity, and demand actual evidence, well, that's the strongest possible foundation for a healthy, free society. So, we end up right back where we started, with a simple, personal choice. The manifesto makes it crystal clear that we don't have to wait around for some perfect system to save us. A learning society is built 1 person at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 promise at a time. The revolution isn't some big event in the future, it's a daily habit. So the only question left is, what habit are you going to start today?